Hello students, welcome to science class 9th standard science unit 10 matter around us. Introduction. We use the term matter to cover all substances and materials from which the universe is composed. Matter is everything around us. மேட்டர்னா என்ன சொல்லுவோம்னா பருப்பொருட்கள் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். இந்த வேர்ல்டில் இருக்கக்கூடிய எந்த சப்ஸ்டன்ஸ் ஆகட்டும் மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் ஆகட்டும் இதில் கவர் ஆகிருக்குன்னா மேட்டர்னால தான். நம்ம சுற்றி இருக்க எல்லாமே மேட்டர் தான். The air we breathe, the food we eat, the pen we write, clouds, stones, plants, animals, a drop of water or a grain of sand, everything is matter. Samples of any of these materials have two properties in common. They have mass and they occupy space. அதாவது இந்த மேட்டர் வந்து ரெண்டு ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிஸில் தான் பொதுவாக காமனாக இருக்குது. என்னென்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் மாஸ், நிறை. செகண்ட் ஒன் ஆக்கியூபை ஸ்பேஸ், ஒரு பொருளை அடைக்கக்கூடிய இடம். எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் டு ஷோ மேட்டர் ஹேஸ் மாஸ். செகண்ட் ஒன் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் டு ஷோ மேட்டர் ஆக்கியூபைஸ் ஸ்பேஸ். Thus, we say that matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Next, we move on to classification of matter. In class 8, you have studied the classification of matter on the basis of their physical states. Now, let us see how we can classify matter on the basis of chemical composition. அதாவது எயித்தில் வந்து ஃபிசிக்கல் ஸ்டேட்ஸ் பற்றி பார்த்துருப்போம். இப்போ கெமிக்கல் காம்போசிஷன், அதாவது அது வேதிவினை எப்படி புரியுது அப்படிங்கிறத பற்றி பார்க்க போகிறோம். Broadly speaking, it has been classified into pure substances and mixtures. From the point of view of chemistry, pure substances are those which contain only one kind of particles, whereas impure substance, that is mixtures, contain more than one kind of particles. The flow chart given below will help us to understand the chemical classification of matter in detail. Before that, we will see, do you know? Not all things that we see or feel are matter. For example, sunlight, sound, force and energy neither occupy space nor have any mass. Isn't it, children? Sunlight or sound or force or energy on there, that is not occupy space, adukku massum kadiyadu, so they are not matter. Now we move on to classification of matter. There is two types of matter. First one is pure substances, second one impure substances, that is mixtures. Pure substances divided into two. First one elements, second one compounds. Elements na கூறுகள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம், compounds na கலவைகள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். Elements cannot be broken into simpler substances. Example, copper, oxygen, hydrogen. Simpler molecules இதை உடைக்க முடியாது. Compounds can be broken down into elements by chemical reactions. அதாவது வேதிவினைகள், chemical reaction புரிஞ்சா அது வந்து உடையும். Example, water, sugar, salt, etc. Impure substances, there are two types, homogeneous, second one heterogeneous. Homogeneous na ஒரு படித்தன்மை அப்படின்னு பேரு தமிழ்ல, heterogeneous na பல படித்தன்மை அப்படின்னு பேரு. Homogeneous always uniform composition, எப்பயுமே அது சீரான இயைபா தான் இருக்கும். Example, sugar plus H2O, that is water, water plus alcohol. Heterogeneous always non-uniform composition. Example, sand plus sugar, water plus oil. Next we move on to elements. Most of you may be interested in music and some of you may know how it is composed. Music is the combination of a few basic musical notes, that is sa re ga. Thus the building blocks of music are the musical notes. அதாவது இந்த building blocks என்னது, அதுக்கு சரிகமா தான். Likewise, all substances on earth are made up of certain simple substances called elements. இந்த பூமியில் certain simple substances இருக்கதான் elements. plants, cats, apples, rocks, cars, and even our bodies contain elements. Our body la kuda elements irukku. Thus, elements are the building block of all materials. Ella materials ko building block edana elements. Do you know? The modern periodic table, there are 118 elements known to us. We know, isn't it? 118 elements totally. 92 of which are naturally occurring, while the remaining 26 have been artificially created. 92 on the naturally occurring, 26 are artificially. But from these 118 elements, billions of compounds are formed. Some naturally occurring and some artificial. Isn't that amazing? Robert Boyle used the name element for any substance that cannot be broken down further into a simpler substance. This definition can be extended to include the fact that each element is made up of only one kind of atom. The Robert Boyle scientist la வந்து இது மாதிரி சிம்பிளரா சப்ஸ்டன்ஸா மாற்ற முடியாத பொருளுக்கு வந்து எலமெண்ட்னு பேர் வச்சாரு. ஆனா இந்த எல்லா எலமெண்ட்டுமே ஈச் எலமெண்ட் ஒவ்வொரு எலமெண்ட்டுமே ஒரே ஒரு ஆட்டமால ஆக்கப்பட்டிருக்கு. For example, aluminum is an element which is made up of only aluminum atoms. அலுமினியத்தில் ஒரே ஒரு அலுமினியம் ஆட்டம்ஸ் இருக்கு. It is not possible to obtain a simpler substances. இதை வந்து எளிதான பொருளை மாற்ற முடியாது chemically from the aluminum atoms. You can only make more complicated substances from it. இதிலிருந்து சிக்கலான வேதிப்பொருளை உருவாக்க முடியும் அலுமினியத்திலிருந்து. என்னென்ன? There is aluminum oxide, aluminum nitrate, and aluminum sulfate. Next one, atom. The smallest unit of an element which may or may not have an independent existence but always takes part in a chemical reaction is called atom. Atom na அணு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். Molecules na மூலக்கூறுகள். The smallest unit of a pure substance which always exists independently and can retain physical and chemical properties of that substance is called a molecule. Example, hydrogen molecule consists of 2 atoms of hydrogen, H2. Oxygen molecule consists of 2 atoms of oxygen, O2. All elements can be classified according to various properties. A simple way to do this is to classify them as 3 types: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. First one, metal. Examples of metal: copper, chromium, gold, and mercury. Metalloids example: boron, silicon, germanium, and arsenic. Non-metals example: carbon, oxygen, neon, and chlorine. Next topic, compounds. When 2 or more elements combine chemically to form a new substance, the new substance is called a compound. Compound na 2 or more elements combine avradha compounds. For example, cane sugar, the karumbu solrala, adu is made up of 3 elements, that is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The chemical formula of cane sugar is C12H22O11. A compound has properties that are different from those of the elements from which it is made. Common salt, also known as sodium chloride, NaCl அப்படினு சொல்லுவோம், is a compound. It is added to give taste to our food, isn't it? நம்ம ஃபுட்டுக்கு டேஸ்டியை கொடுக்கும். It is a compound made up of a metal sodium and a non-metal chlorine. Sodium chlorideல என்ன இருக்குன்னா metal வந்து sodium, non-metal chlorine. Do you know compounds of phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium are used in fertilizers? அதாவது இது மூணுமே வந்து உரமா பயன்படுது. Silicon compounds are of immense importance in the computer industry. Compounds of fluorine are used in our toothpaste as they strengthen our teeth. Next, we'll move on to difference between elements and compounds. There are 3 differences. Element, made up of only one kind of atom. Compound is made up of more than one kind of atom. Element, the smallest particle that retains all its properties is the atom. Compound is the smallest particle that retains all its properties is the molecule. Element cannot be broken down into simpler substances. Compound can be broken down into elements by chemical methods. Next, we move on to mixtures. A mixture is an impure substance. It contains two or more kinds of elements or compounds or both physically mixed together in any ratio. For example, tap water is a mixture of water and some dissolved salts. Isn't it? Water and salt, dissolve some salt. Lemonade is a mixture of lemon juice, sugar and water. Air is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and other gases. Soil is a mixture of clay, sand and various salts. Milk, ice cream, rock salt, tea, smoke, wood, seawater, blood, toothpaste and paints are some other examples of mixtures. Alloys are mixtures of metals. More to know, LPG liquefied petroleum gas, அதாவது திரவமாக்கப்பட்ட பெட்ரோலிய வாயு. It is highly inflammable hydrocarbon gas. It contains mixture of butane and propane gases. LPG liquefied through pressurization is used for heating, cooking, auto fuel, etc. Differences between compound and mixture. There are differences between compounds and mixtures. This can be shown by the following activity. Take some powdered iron fillings and mix it with sulfur. Iron fillings na irumbu துகள்கள் கொஞ்சத்தை எடுத்துட்டு அதை சல்ஃபரோட ஆட் பண்ணிக்கணும். Divide the mixture into two equal halves. அதை ஈக்குவலா half ரெண்டா பிரிச்சுக்கணும். Keep the first half of the mixture as it is, but heat the second half of the mixture. On heating, you will get a black brittle compound. இங்க இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு black கலர்ல ஒரு compound கிடைக்கும். The black compound is iron 2 sulfide. So iron plus sulfur on heating, iron sulfide. We get iron sulfide. The iron sulfide formed has totally different properties to the mixture of iron and sulfur as tabulated below. Substance, appearance, effect of magnet. First one, substance, iron, dark grey powder. Appearance, the color appearance in the iron mattum dark grey color la irukum. Effect of magnet, attracted to it. Magnet காந்த சக்தியில அது இழுக்கும். Next one, sulfur, yellow powder. None, that is not attracted. Iron plus sulfur mixture, that is the two added, no, that one, dirty yellow powder. Appearance, effect of magnet is iron powder attracted to it. Next one, iron sulfide compound, black solid, no effect. From the above experiment, we can summarize the major differences between mixtures and compounds. Difference between mixtures and compounds. Mixture, it contains two or more substances. Compound, it is a single substance. The constituents may be present in any proportion. The constituents are present in definite proportions. They show the properties of their constituents. They do not show the properties of the constituent elements. The components may be separated easily by physical methods. The constituents can only be separated by one or more chemical reactions. Do you know? Blood is not a pure substance. It is a mixture of various components such as platelets, red and white blood corpuscles and plasma. Platelets na இரத்த நுண்தட்டு தட்டணுக்கள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். Red and white blood corpuscles na சிவப்பு மற்றும் வெள்ளை இரத்த அணுக்கள். So my dear students, so far we learnt about matter around us lesson, introduction and classification of matter, elements, compounds, mixtures differences between compound and mixture. Next video, we will see types of mixtures and separation of mixtures. Thank you.